So welcome to an introduction to computers and technology, or I like to call it Tech 101. My name is Mia Watts, and I'm going to show you the basics of computers and using them. So we have a computer introduction. These computers are useful devices that can perform specific functions. And the picture I have shown here is an example of a desktop computer, and I'll be able to explain that in a later slide. So computer devices like laptops or desktops consist of the following. We have hardware, which is the physical parts of a computer, and that consists of the mouse and the keyboard. For example, this is a keyboard. It's something on which you can type. And then we also have software, which include the programs that a computer uses to perform specific functions like typing or writing a letter, etc. So some examples of software include Notepad or PowerPoint. So Notepad is something that you can use to type notes, you can write letters, etc. And PowerPoint is what I use to make this presentation. So it's very useful if you would like to make a presentation. So what is a computer? We'll start off with what is a computer. A computer is a device that can help you type documents, search on the internet, store or process information, similar to a calculator, and communicate with friends and family. So for example, if you would like to communicate with your grandchildren or with family, you can use a computer to call them, you can use a computer to type letters to them or type emails. And there are different types of computers, and all use hardware and all use software, and I'll get into the different types. But for right now, we have a laptop, which is this device over here, and we have a desktop, which is this device. So let's start off with laptop versus desktop. A laptop is a computer that is portable, and it can be folded shut in half, almost like a hamburger. And it has a mouse, a keyboard, and a screen, and all of these are together on one device. You don't have to plug in anything extra. And laptops can run without being plugged in. Usually when you purchase a laptop, you're going to receive this device, which is shown here, examples of laptops, and you would receive a charger as well, and the charger is just something you plug into the laptop that will allow it to run. It'll charge the battery so that it can run without being connected to a plug or anything. And next we have a desktop, which is a computer that has multiple parts, including a keyboard and a mouse and a monitor. And all of these need to be plugged into an outlet constantly to run. So for example, if I purchase a desktop, I would receive this screen, which is called a monitor. I would also receive this keyboard, which is something I can use to type, and I would receive a mouse, which is something I can move on a surface and click, and we'll explain what a mouse is later on. But for this specific computer, you would have to keep it plugged in constantly to run. It can't be taken elsewhere like a laptop can. So when you receive computers, there are two different types of components that go with the computer, one being hardware. So what exactly is hardware? Well, hardware is considered to be the physical parts of a computer that you can touch. And in other words, they're tangible, so you can actually feel them and use them. Examples of hardware are a mouse, which is shown all the way at the left, and that's what you use to click. A keyboard, which you can use to type. A monitor, which is your screen. This is where you'll be able to see everything that you're doing or working on. And discs, like this. So if you wanted to play music or watch a movie like a DVD, and you wanted to do a family night with the grandchildren or something like that, you could have a disc and you could insert that into your computer and watch a movie or something. And these are all examples of hardware, which are all types of a computer that parts of a computer that can be held or touched. So next we have software. So what is software? Software are programs that the computer uses to perform tasks. The software itself is not a physical piece like hardware, so you can't actually hold the software. And examples of software are media players. So for example, like our previous example with the DVD, if you were to put the DVD into your computer with a disc, you would be able to use a media player to display the movie that you were trying to watch. Another example is Microsoft Word or Microsoft Office, which is a software that allows you to type documents. You can make PowerPoints like this one, And you can also make spreadsheets, which is a different type of software that can be used for numbers. So here are some more examples. There's a photo editor as well. You can upload a photo if you need, if you take a photo on your phone or something, and you can edit it in your computer, and that's another type of software. So these would be the icons that you would see if you were to start these software applications. So to the left we have Word, and then we have PowerPoint next, which is what I'm presenting on. We have media players. That would be an example of either Google, which is an internet browser, or a media player for a Windows computer, which I'll explain later as well. And then we have photo editors here, and calculators are also a good example of a software that can be used. So let's start off with the basics on how to turn your computer on. So I have a computer, but how do I turn it on? How do I use it? So to turn a computer on, you must first find a button that has the following symbol. It's going to look like a circle with a line drawn through it. This circle with the line drawn through it, this icon represents the power button. So the power button on a laptop can be found on the side of the laptop, or it can be found on the keyboard. So as soon as you open up a laptop, there should be a section either in the top left or the top right, similar to over here, where this person is pressing the button, to where there's a button with that symbol on it, and you'll be able to press it, and your computer will turn on. Differently, desktops have a different method of how to turn on your computer. So the power button on a desktop can be found near the bottom of the screen or the monitor, or on the top of a rectangular box, also referred to as a computer. So not so much in computers now, but previously computers used to come with this box here that would run the power. It would have your disk operating, like you would be able to press a button and insert the disk, and this is where you would put it. But usually for computers today, we just receive the monitor, which is the screen. So the difference between those two is just that the monitor is the screen, and the computer itself was a different piece of technology that was given before the components were put into the screen. So basically you could either press the power button, which would be in the top corner of the computer, or on the screen of the computer, and it's usually found on the bottom left or bottom right, depending on what computer you have. So once you have found the power button, press the power button, hold it, and then release your finger from the power button. If the computer has turned on, there are two things that may indicate whether it has or not. One of them is going to be the symbol on the button lights up. Now some power buttons do not have the following symbol, which is the circle with the line through it. If it does not, you're going to probably want to look for a circular button that is separate from the other buttons on your keyboard, and that's going to be your power button. So if your computer has that icon, if it lights up, you're good to go and the computer's on. Otherwise, your screen will probably show something similar to this. So this is an example of a screen after the computer is on, and both of these, one of these could occur when you turn the computer on. It doesn't have to be both. For example, if you don't have the power button symbol on your computer, you'll just have to look for this screen when it turns on. So to turn your computer off, here are two common methods. Press and hold the power button until the screen or monitor goes black, or whatever was on the screen disappears, and then release your finger from the power button. This is the most common way and basic way to turn off your computer. You basically just have to press the button and then you're good to go. A second method to turn off your computer, specifically for a Microsoft Windows computer, which is a common brand of computer that is sold. Most likely it'll either be a Microsoft computer or a Mac computer, but they do function pretty similarly. But this is just an example of what it would look like step by step on how to turn off a Microsoft computer. You would first want to find the start button on your computer screen, and then click it with the mouse, and I'll go into detail about how to click as well. Click the power button image, and then click shut down, and you'll be all set. So step one on how to turn your computer off using the start button. You're first going to want to find an icon like this one on the bottom left of your screen. Click the icon on the bottom left part of your screen using the mouse, and the icon is going to look like a window similar to this. And once you click that, a window should pop up, or a different box that's going to show you your options will pop up. Steps 2 and 3 on how to turn your computer off using the start button include clicking the power icon using your mouse. So you're once again going to try and find that circle with the line through it, which is usually going to be right above that window that you previously clicked. And then next, once you click this button, this little box is going to show up with the options sleep, shut down, or restart. You're going to click shut down using your mouse, and your computer will shut down, and your screen will will turn black or look like it's loading, and soon it would shut off. So let's start off with using a keyboard, which is a specific part of a computer that you will be able to use when you purchase one. A keyboard on the laptop is already built into the computer because the laptop has a keyboard and a mouse already built in, so you don't have to plug anything in. Once you turn your computer on, you can tap the buttons on a keyboard, which are called keys, and they will put on the screen what you press. So for example, if you're writing a letter to your family and you want to say, "Dear family," you can type the letters DEAR and then family, and it will put on the screen what you are typing. And next we have a keyboard on a desktop, which is not built into the computer. So usually when you purchase this type of computer, you're going to have to plug it in to your computer. So once you plug it in, and I included a picture here of what it would look like, you're going to get something like this on one end of your keyboard, and you're going to find a section on your computer that looks like this, and you'll be able to plug the keyboard into your computer, and then you'll be able to start using it. So once you've plugged in your keyboard, you can tap the keys, and what you tap will show up on the screen, very similar to a laptop. And this is an example of what a desktop computer looks like, a keyboard looks like. So in order to have the keyboard type what you want, you're going to need to use a software that will accept your input. So examples include Notepad, Microsoft Word, or the internet browser. So like stated before, the software is something that is a program that the computer uses to perform a function or a task. It's not something that you can physically touch. So Notepad and Microsoft Word and internet browser are all good examples of software where if you're typing on your keyboard, what you're typing will appear on your screen. So for example, I have here, this is Microsoft Word, and I typed, "Hello, I'm typing on a Word document using Microsoft Word," and what I typed showed up on the screen. So next we have using a mouse, and there are two different types of mouses used for computers. One of them is for the laptop, and a mouse on a laptop is called a trackpad or a touchpad, but it can also just be called a mouse. So the trackpad and touchpad let you slide your finger over them to move your cursor on your screen. The laptop mouse is built into the laptop, so you do not need to buy a separate one. You can just use the one that's already there, and it will perform the same functionality as would a desktop mouse, which we'll get to a bit later. So the cursor is your point on the screen where you are. So for example, if you slide your finger over the mouse, that cursor will move and it will go to wherever you slide your finger. So if you slide your finger up, that cursor is going to move up on your screen. And these are examples of trackpad and touchpad mouses, which are commonly found on a laptop, where you'll be able to slide your finger over this box area, and that's how your cursor will move. So to left click using a laptop mouse or the trackpad or touchpad, you're going to press the left portion, bottom left portion of the mouse. And to right click using a laptop mouse, you're going to press the bottom right portion of your mouse. I will get into the differences between left click and right click a little later, but for now, in case you want to left click, you're just going to press down on the left side of your mouse on the bottom, and for right clicking, you'll press down on this right side here. So using a mouse on a desktop is a little bit different than using one on a laptop. A mouse on a desktop needs to be plugged in order to work, just like the keyboard did. So you'll find a location, usually your mouse will be connected to a wire, and you'll plug the wire into your computer and you'll be able to use your mouse. And once your mouse is plugged in, you can left click by pressing the top left portion of your mouse, and you can right click by pressing the top right of your mouse. So here's just a diagram showing where to press for left and right clicking. You would press in the top left for left clicking and the top right for right clicking. You'll see two buttons there, and that's what you want to press. So you can also scroll using a desktop mouse, which can be done by sliding the oval-shaped middle button, which is called the scroll wheel, on your mouse. You can either scroll it up if you want to go up on your browser, your internet page, wherever you are, your document, and you can scroll it down, which will move your page down. So this is useful when you see a scroll bar on the side of your screen. So for example, here we have a mouse's scroll wheel. You see the left mouse button on the left top portion, you see the right mouse button on the right top portion, and then you see the scroll wheel in between those two buttons, and that's where you'll be able to scroll. And these are examples here of what a scroll bar looks like. So when you see this on your screen, usually either on the bottom or the side of your screen, you'll be able to use the scroll wheel in order to move up and down on whatever you're working on. So to move the cursor with a desktop mouse, it's a little bit different than a laptop. You're going to hold the mouse and slide it across a smooth surface. Mouse pads are useful when you want to move the mouse and when you need a cushioned, soft surface on which to move it and use the mouse. So for example, this is a diagram of somebody holding a mouse. So usually you're going to have your index finger on the left mouse button, either your ring finger or your middle finger on the right mouse button, whichever one is more comfortable, and you're going to have your hand flat on your desk over top your mouse, and you'll be able to move it. And mouse pads just help with that movement. They make it so your surface isn't bumpy or anything, so that you can easily move your cursor across your screen using your mouse. So now we come to left clicking versus right clicking. So left clicking is useful when you want to interact directly with what you are clicking. So for example, when we were turning off the computer with the start button, you had to click that window icon. You're interacting directly with the button, so you're going to want to left click that start button. Another example would be clicking the Microsoft Word icon to open the software for typing. So for example, if you want to write a letter to your children or grandchildren, you can click Microsoft Word and it will open that software for you. Or if a message pops up, like somebody just messaged you saying, hey, do you want to go out and grab some lunch? It's been a while, etc. You can click on that message if it pops up, and you will be able to go directly to that message depending on what you have on your computer. So right-clicking is useful when you want to interact indirectly with what you are doing. And that includes changing the information on your screen or opening a menu to perform different functions. A quick example of this would be if I accidentally spelled something wrong in Microsoft Word. So let's say I spelled document with 2 C's. I could right-click document and it will come up with a menu and it will be able to change the word to the correct spelling of document. So let's test your knowledge. Let's see. We have what is hardware is number 1. What is the difference between a left click and a right click? And how do you know if your computer is on? There are 2 answers, so either one works. So this is just a review of the information that we were going over in the presentation. And let's see. So we have hardware as a physical part of a computer that you can touch. So examples are a mouse, keyboard. Then we have what is the difference between a left click and a right click. Left clicking is direct interaction, like pressing the start button to turn off your computer, and right clicking is an indirect interaction, like fixing a misspelled word in Microsoft Word. And the last one, how do you know if your computer is on? There are two answers, so either one works. So it's either on if your screen lights up or if the power button is lit. So I wonder how you did. Are you a computer expert? And congratulations, you have now made it through Tech 101, so you'll be a computer expert in no time. So whenever your grandchildren want to show you something on their phone or their computer, you're good to go. Good job.